This is Mark Kennison, one of the owners at D&D Classic. We kind of wanted to put a promotional video together of what we do at Oshkosh. This will be the 5th year I've basically have taught advanced sheet metal on aviation. Some of the things that we talk about, go through during the day, generally work from basic patterns, whether they be a wire form, foam carved, or a metal buck, a wooden buck, any number of things to get an idea of what you're going to make, even working from blueprints. Typically, why we kind of go through this, you usually don't have an existing pattern, but if you do, then how do you take that information, convert it into what I call a plastic or a paper pattern that you can translate your stretch, shrink, and form to the actual metal that you're going to do. And I generally start off with how are you going to make, what are you going to make. Metal shaping is basically determining where you need to stretch, shrink, and form depending on what kind of tools you have and what kind of attaching capability, i.e. welding things together or you're riveting things together, that type of thing. Now it's a sequence of how do you go about doing that, and generally I start off at the beginning of the day with hand tools, something that everybody should have at their home garage, whether it's a set of hammers, set of dollies, and technically speaking, even if you had the right shaped river rocks, you could actually do metal shaping as long as you understand the principles of metal shaping. And what I hope to do is illustrate the knowledge behind how to go about doing that, from hand tools to using some power tools here at Oshkosh. I go through that process building from patterns, demonstrating on small pieces of metal, working up to an angle iron out of aluminum, working up to what I would call the more advanced things, which I generally do in the afternoon, which would be the reverse curves, which would be like a wing root fairing or a strut cuff, which is a saddle type shape. So part of that whole process, we'll go through hand shrinking with some hand tools. You know, have your typical teeth versions of shrinking metal and then what I call the stack shrinking. We're also going to see where we might be even with some power tools, maybe even the planishing hammer and being able to shrink. Now generally I will also demonstrate with English wheel, and the majority of that is stretching the metal using different wheels, different widths of the wheels in the tracking patterns or the hit. I'll also illustrate circular hit and linear stretch hit, which would be with hand hammers or a power hammer, and being able to develop surfaces. We'll also get into annealing aluminum. Typically we use 3003 or 52 for stronger weldable alloys, and the annealing process is generally on weldable aluminums. So it'll give you at the beginning of the day from basic tools up to more advanced things going on during the day. I will also have some demonstrations of powered bead rollers. Our sponsor this year will be Mittler Tools, and we'll be demonstrating those type of tools. The hope is after a portion of the seminar that you'll have a chance to actually use some of the tools, kind of get your feedback and literally have some hands-on, time permitting, and we'll kind of go from there.